All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Oregairu, Season 1, Episode 13.
All
Wait,
right.
13? There's only 12 episodes in Oregairu.
So this episode essentially is the equivalent of an OVA, Jacob.
Right.
This has been passed on to us through editor and Discord and stuff, that this one is basically an official episode kind of extra thing.
Canon and very much necessary.
Yeah, and it goes here, and also, given that this show is apparently over, we are going to basically, consume all the content for it.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. But the last episode was not perfect, y'all. We had basically
amazing
everything get resolved regarding the festival, and establish and reestablishing the status quo in a different way than it was before.
Yeah.
But characters been through a lot that season.
They've changed. They've changed.
Yeah.
And while they can still fit into that similar rhythm, they're going to be going about it a little bit differently.
So, yeah. But what will be the kind of the bridge in between
season 1
and season 2?
Who knows?
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. All right, that was some good, goofy fun.
Yep.
Rather wacky kind of continuation to the festival after the festival kind of thing.
Right, because you have cultural and sports.
Yeah, exactly. And, all our main characters are not a fan, really, of the athletics festival.
For various reasons.
Yeah, for various reasons. And I loved that Hachiman is the, that damn guy.
Specific name. It's
specific name and everything.
Yep.
I just gotta say, oh my god, that was me back when I was about 15. The problem with sports back then was I would be put into groups that were a year on average ahead of me.
Right, because you had the worst timed birthday.
Yeah, exactly, with school related stuff. And oh my god, there was this one guy that I still remember the name of, but I don't feel like I need to say the name specifically. Whoa, he specifically said his name,
Right.
But it was just so funny how much there would be that one guy who would just make you, if you were one of the weakest people in the link.
Just feel awful.
Just feel awful. And
oh, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
oh, boy.
That's just fun. But, okay, so Zaimokuza
I think this is my favorite.
His best episode.
Yeah, I think this was his best episode because so Zaimokuza, as a character, being not hikikomori, but being Chunibyo, and all of that, right? That can make for some great antics and the like.
Yep.
But for me personally, because this show is so social commentary kind of with how the dynamics between kids work and high school and all that stuff. A lot of the antics that he would get up to felt kind of out of place in the show, right? Where it's okay, I get that there are people of this general archetype, right?
Yep.
So it is exploring something worthwhile, but compared to some of the other characters and the plights that they had, it just wasn't as I wasn't.
It resonated strongly with you,
right? It wasn't as interested in it,
and I'm very much the same way. But this was something where we got to see Hikigaya Hachiman really find a way to bring him into the fold and utilize his abilities and skills in a very clever way. So it felt really good to see his antics fit in the episode.
Right, for them to actually help. Because, yep. And it worked out great. And I love the fact that it was the double blind of you'll be the distraction and then I'll be the distraction. And because they'll then be oh, he's just the distraction, it's layers. And then you're a big guy.
He cheated, so
yeah, he cheated.
They can't actually win from this, even though they did knock down their pole.
Exactly. And I was kind of wondering if that was going to be brought up. I'm okay, but I'm pretty sure covering your headband is a no-no. But,
right.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll work out.
Yeah.
It didn't.
But the idea that he channeled his loner energy into a no one notices me.
Right.
But someone did.
And
this is coming off of the episode just prior.
Yep.
Where Hayama Hayato is just why are you like this? And they had that little moment together. And it's ooh, this is extra powerful now because he, was the guy that was kind of hey, we could be friends, He was, in some ways, the guy who could have been the equivalent of the guy that Hachiman remembered from all that time ago of why he hates athletic festivals.
Sure, and that's why Hachiman probably doesn't actually allow him to be friends, right? But, I was... I was actually legitimately surprised that Ebina didn't make some comment about like, oh, but he notices, an infiltrator in their ranks or whatever, right? Because he cares about you, Hachiman, right? Even if you do all these things to basically say, no, I'm going to stick with being a loner, you don't have to be, right?
Yeah.
And he clearly, even though you're not athletic, he thinks highly enough of you that he specifically told people to be like, tag that guy, right? Make sure you don't let him out of your sight. So he wants to be friends with you. He respects you. Even if you guys are very different.
Formidable to him.
Exactly.
On the field of battle.
Right. And a lot of the issues that Hachiman seems to have with him, other than the associated issues from past people that fit that same kind of general mold, is that he doesn't like the idea of the assumed sort of superiority, right? From other people to Hayama, but also kind of from himself to Hayama. Right?
It's probably really frustrating and annoying to have his own like subconscious basically betray his my conscious beliefs that this kind of stuff is just disgusts me. But then he ends up being kind of the I hate to use the word, but the beta to his alpha energy in some ways,
Right, and that's kind of that's where the frustration kind of comes from. But Hayama's multiple times said that
he sees you more as an equal.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that way. It's not that way for me.
Right.
So what are you doing?
Exactly. But okay, the Saika like the Saika Sai, Totsuka Sai, that was
being the general wonderful. And just being like, can you really? Can you help?
But just the fact that we had Zaimokuza basically say, and thus, he turns and looks at the camera, and thus did I see someone fall in love. And it was just something where we, as the audience, have seen these moments with Hachiman and Sai, where he's like, Hachiman very much is moved by Sai's big cute energy.
Yes.
But like the fact that Zaimokuza is like, I have now noticed it too. It's like, oh my god, the one who's delusional and not even in touch with reality all the time still sees genuine, I
mean, who knows? It could be because he was just hanging out with Ebina in organizing everything, that all of a sudden he's like,
He's like, yes, the BL energy.
The BL is strong with this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And,
exactly.
I mean, let's face it. It is. But, whether Sai will actually end up being upgraded to be the third, potential love interest in this show for Sirius, probably not. But,
It depends if this is the kind of show that basically takes...
upgrades characters,
non-heterosexual relationships actually seriously.
It's
and
like
not just as a joke.
Right. Or there was content for that, but it was removed from the game before launch or something like that. I'm not talking about anything specific.
Yeah.
But we did get some great interactions between Yui, Yukino, and Hachiman. There was quite a lot of Hachiman talking about specific things that were frustrating to him, and then of course Yukino giving her snide remarks about...
Yes, giving him lip,
Exactly. But not the kind of lip that maybe she wants to.
Right. I also noticed a little bit, Yui started to get a little bit jealous when the president was starting to get a little bit too, like, physically in the space of Hachiman. Which I'm wondering, because I'm looking for things that could carry over into future seasons, right? And it's mostly just kind of things that Hachiman kind of noticed or kind of called out specifically, but that was one of those moments where I was like, wait a minute, that's new for this character.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I could see carrying over. And then the other one was the actual name drop of someone from Hachiman's past. Since he specifically mentioned a name, I thought they were going to be brought up in this episode. Given that they weren't, they don't have to be brought up later, but if we wanted to unpack more of Hachiman's past experiences and why he's so bitter about them and has such strong feelings that he's holding on to so strongly, then that could be one way to do it potentially. But don't have to.
Don't have to. But all in all, this episode was rather simple.
Yep.
And gave us basically some good laughs and some good moments just in general. But then I just love that we basically had like a full-on like action anime little mini sequence with the idea of, I planned around your plan, but I planned around your plan. Exactly. Your next line will be, and then Zaimokuza! And then he like Naruto runs basically into it, and then everyone else like comes in and he blows them all away, and it's all the dramatic hand animation like coming in. it was good fun. It was good stuff. But I am very much looking forward to season 2.
Yes.
And a return to form of, okay, like what's going on with these characters now that we've basically had this big kind of, not circle, but kind of arc of sorts that a lot of the characters have gone on.
Yeah.
Through kind of being in the club and stuff.
Yes.
And this episode didn't necessarily further much of that at all.
Yeah, not too much.
But
The thing that Hachiman was talking about at the beginning of the importance of, if being a part of something is what's important, then also experiencing not being a part of something is being important. I would say that's like, as much as it's coming from a place of kind of bitterness within Hachiman and sort of reactionary, be different from the group kind of, setup.
Sure.
There is a lot to be gleaned from that, I feel like, as long as it's done in healthy doses, right? Because you don't want to completely cut yourself off from people, but at the same time, the whole concept of like taking a break from things, finding a quiet place where you can, just focus.
Apathy is death, after all.
Apathy is death. So having that taste of the opposite, right, helps keep things from getting, stale and rigid. So,
True.
Yeah.
And thus we'll get to see if Hachiman maybe has any change in that thought regarding the idea that, well, he does seem to like Yukino, and she kind of got excited about the idea of participating, next year.
And I know that Yukino is probably the main girl, but when he had to whisper to you, he did kind of blush a bit, Just saying, I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, you are holding on tight, my friend. Keep going.
It's the soldiers all trying to keep the flag up, like the.
Yeah, you're on the Titanic.
Yeah.
You've already sunk, and there is enough room on the raft, but he's not getting on the raft, buddy. Just saying. There's plenty of room.
You can lead a horse to water.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
All the info for that's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.